Good morning, good evening, everybody. Welcome, everyone. My name is Mahendra Gosar, and I am the Midwest chapter lead for Holistic Inner Science Foundation. In my day job, I am a director of financial systems at PSAV, and my work involves working with finance and IT to get projects done. Let me introduce today's holistic science expert, Dr. Shailesh Mehta, or we call him Dr. Shailesh Anandji, is a practicing ophthalmologist who owns a hospital in Vadodara, India. From his childhood, he was curious about the deeper truths of life. He came in touch with self-realized holistic scientist Sri A. M. Patel, and through his grace, Dr. Mehta attained self-realization in 1977. Dr. Mehta is a celibate and is deeply experienced in the field of holistic inner science. He devotes his time to studying, researching, and spreading the message of holistic inner science. In his quest to spread the message of holistic science, he has traveled to countries such as US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. His speeches on holistic science have been well received at national and international conferences. He is also the author of several books, which include Introduction to Holistic Science and Integral Living and Science of Liberation. Welcome, Sailesh Anandji.
So my greetings to all of you across the globe. Okay. So what
Yeah.
are we going to take
So
today,
last,
Mahan?
last time, Sailesh Anandji, we talked about the power of mind. So today we are going to cover the art of communication or speech, the science
All
and
right.
art of communication and speech.
All right.
So
So
yeah, go ahead. So okay.
so as I reconnect to our past episodes, we had been talking under the broad head of wealth and how many types of wealth we have. The people know the most common notion is dollar or rupee wealth, and we had started from there, and then we included other aspects like health and our own body, mind, and speech and its powers, along with other things like my knowledge, skills, abilities, my vision, and other things. So today, as you rightly said, let's deal with art and science of communication or speech. And every one of us have experienced and we are experiencing day in and day out that the main basis of our success or failure, whether it is a business dealing, whether it's a familial, social dealing, or dealing with any other human being, rests largely upon this communication or speech part. Even at our own home, with our own spouse, with our own children, at the workplace, with our colleagues, wherever we go. So many times we say that, oh, my intentions were correct, but I don't know why the other people perceive me wrongly or differently. Even though everything is going well, one or couple of words here and there, and the things may get stressed up or spoiled. So this is here that it is said that if the words are taken care of, the world is taken care of, or everything worthwhile is taken care of if you can take care of your communication or the speech part. In other words, WORD word is the world WORLD. It can make or break the situations either way. It can rectify and convert any spoiled situation into a most harmonious or best situation, or it vice versa or other way around. So let us try to understand how this communication, what is the art of communication and the science of communication or the speech. As I understand, the speech is my unilateral part, whereas the communication is the bilateral part, where I am communicating something as well as I'm receiving something from the other people. So first and foremost is I should be aware that my communication or my speech, it should not be hurting any other person or the people. That's the most fundamental thing in present times, that though everything otherwise looks good, some way, somewhere, if I am hurting, if I'm sarcastic, if I'm even mildly taunting somebody, and the things may get spoiled. Moving ahead from there, what should be the qualities of my speech? It should be beneficial to others, it should be concise, it should be loved by others, and it should be truthful. If I have these four qualities of the speech, that is concise, beneficial to others, being loved by others, and truthful, then I think that communication is the ideal communication for me. What happens most of the times, as I have observed, my speech or communication has hidden I, that is the hidden echo of my ego. And that's where I need to focus, that my ego or my projected I should be as humble as possible. Most of the times in any communication, we feel that I'm right. Why should not I put forward my viewpoint? Why should not I persist with it? The other fellow also feels that I am also right. Why should I not persist with that? So here the holistic inner science says that I should have awareness that everybody may be correct by his or her own viewpoint. So I have all the right to put forward my viewpoint, try to persuade the other person lovingly, caringly, or sharingly. But no sooner I try to become insistent or adamant, the things go other way around. So insistency or adamancy in any communication or speech should be taken care of. If I have to uh, go for a best possible communication. Then another dimension further, if I within my heart, if I know that whatever actions of my mind, speech, and body which are going to make others happy do make me happy first, or whichever actions of my mind, speech, and body which are going to hurt or disturb others do disturb me first. Before criticizing anybody, my face may become frowned. So, with that awareness, it is my inner resolution that let my mind, speech, and body not hurt any living being, or in other words, my intent is not to hurt anyone through my thoughts, words, or actions. In in fact, on the other hand, I have the friendliness, I have the love for everybody, because now I know that the world is me only, there is no other in the world. So with this inner, some hearty resolutions and inner awareness, my speech always remains a nice, fruitful speech. Another important aspect one needs to bear in mind is intent behind that speech. If my intent is to do the business, get the business smartly or shrewdly, the speech would be like that. If my intent is to do the business but taking care of the interest of all the other people like consumers, employees, or stakeholders, the speech would be different. If my intent is to share my experiences such that one and all become happy, the speech would be different. So the intent part is also very, very important in knowing this art and science of communication. So in nutshell, how the speech gets formed. So it is my inner decision and inner resolve, what we say is inner bhav. Based on that inner decision, resolve or bhav, the code words get generated. For example, some people have the inner codes generated that I must be upfront. I must tell anybody. I tell even my boss on face. You must have seen the people. You must have heard the people saying, "Oh, I don't care for anybody. I even tell my boss on face." So that code generated, and no matter how hard one tries to become sweet or sober, this speech becomes hurting or arrogant speech. Some people have different resolve that let my, even if the people speak harsh and hurtful language, let my speech be sober and soothing speech. And then in that case, the speech would be different. So it starts with my inner resolve, inner decision or inner bhav, which gets translated into code words. Now here there is a subtle science. I'm happy to see around in the world that the scientists are trying to study the subtle aspects. Few days back, I listened Bruce Lipton, who wrote the book Biology of Beliefs, and he was trying to sort of study and convey that our thoughts do not remain in our head only, it spreads all across, and trying to measure with magnetoencephalograph. So to say, these subtle mechanisms which the holistic scientist sees in their absolute knowing and seeing power, even the science is trying to understand by the available means. So no sooner I have the bhav that I must tell him upfront, or I must not be harsh or hurtful, the atoms and molecules from outside, they get attracted inside, it gets charged or forms the code word. Now, as soon as some instance arises, based on this code word, the speech gets shortened and comes out. So once I know this mechanism, now I have the key that if I want to change my speech or communication skills, I should address this inner mechanism of inner decision resolves, that's to say bhav, and how it gets translated into code words. So holistic inner science has given a very simple 3 to 4 lines resolve or a prayer or code of conduct, that, oh Lord, or oh pure self, give me the inner strength such that I will not utter harsh or hurtful language or a speech to anyone. And even if somebody speaks harsh or hurtful words, give me the inner strength to reply in soft and sober words. So I think with this initial introduction, we can move ahead as the questions come. Mahen and
Yes.
Manishbhai, I hope this initial introduction conveys the basic concepts of the holistic inner science, how the speech gets formed within ourselves and how it comes out. As we move ahead, we'll touch upon the part of the inner speech, outer speech, and different formats of the speech, or how to correct the mistakes of the speech, and so on.
No, this was a great introduction and kickoff of the subject of communication and speech. I think it is very crucial. I think, as you mentioned, to put the focus on inside. If we want to change our speech, to say how is my inner setting. If I understand it right, that way, that we have to look inside and see if our inner self, the way our inner self is, because that is one of the driver of the way speech is coming out. No, this is great. I think Manish Bhai joined, and if Manish Bhai has any question, feel free to jump in. Um, Otherwise, we can go into the next topic, or one of the other areas, as you pointed out, was what is the difference between outer and inner speech? Shailesh Anandji.
All right. Okay. So here, uh, all of us, if we look in, we are aware and we do experience that a lot of the things keep on going inside us all the time, that Manish Bhai is good or Manish Bhai is not good, he doesn't listen, he listens, and he should be taught a lesson or not, or he's a good, whatever. And only a part of it comes out. So it is said that the 7/8 remains inside, like a tip of an iceberg, only a small part comes out. But why I should be aware of the things going on within me, which includes my opinions, my beliefs, my biases, and my decisions or resolves, because based on that, the outer speech is going to come one or other day. And let me start with our communication with our near and dear ones, maybe with a wife, or a wife having with a husband. And we know that we are good friends as such, and we have committed and come together to live life as the best friends. But somehow, some way it happens that the both eye do remain separate. And as long as one eye is loving, sharing, caring with the other eye, that it is a win-win situation. But when one eye tries to win over the other, the situation becomes different. And you and me, or mine and yours, and over a period of time, after first 5 years, the opinions start creeping in. So these opinions and the things and the speech gets different form, that you did that, and wife says you did that, and you don't listen, and you don't care, and mine and yours, the two parties stand apart on the different sides of the bottle. So that sometimes even with our children we face the test of communication, that we try to convey them something for their good, but the children say, Dad, Mom, you have told us once, please don't keep it repeating often. So we should be careful that whenever I try to whenever I'm trying to convey something to somebody, I should be small, I should be humble than the other fellow. But here we try to teach them in an advisory tone, and that speech hurts them because everyone has the ego. And if I can take care of that ego of that person, then with a good heart, friendly heart, or with a love, I'll be able to communicate properly, or that communication will be a very fruitful communication. So while communicating with the children, we should be their friends. The third aspect which comes to my mind as far as the refinement of the communication with our near and dear ones is concerned, we should say that, okay, this is what probably I feel like or I look like at the things, and I perceive that it may be like this. So scientifically, we try to open out the facets of any aspect or any matter, that, okay, if we do like this might happen like this. If we do this is the advantage or disadvantage, rather than insisting or saying that this is what I say or I believe or I'll do it like that. Rather than command, if we can put forward the things in a scientific way, in an explanatory way or in a scientific way, I think the communication at our family will improve. And Manish Bhai will probably agree with me that one who has mastered the communication with the near and dear ones, I think he can readily make the home a heaven on earth, right? Similarly, at the workplace, which is the second challenge, with our superiors or with our colleagues or with our underhands. Okay, we understand that in USA we can't violate anybody's sort of independence or identity, but still our communication most of the times is not harmonious. And the other, we want to get the best out of other people or other person. But if our tone is not friendly, not humble, not touching to his heart, not taking his heart with us, how can we get the best out of that person? So a good manager is one who knows how to, who knows the best qualities or the positivity of the people and can take them heartily with them. So if you can take the hearts of the people with you by your communication or speech or by your attitudes, believe me, the person without supervision will be willing to give the best out of him or her. But if that part is not there, no sooner the boss is on head, the person will pretend to do the best. No sooner the boss is away, the boss eyes turns away, the show may change. So this is how the inner speech, though it is not affecting the people directly, it's the basis of the outer speech, and 7/8 of the speech is inside, 1/8 of the speech comes outside. Here I'll also like to point out one thing, that in the morning, as I said, I decide that let me give me the inner strength so that I will not utter the harsh or hurtful language or language of rivalry to anyone. And even if someone speaks harsh or hurtful language, give me the inner strength to reply in the soft and sober words. But during the day, out of the pressure of circumstances, some situations do come up where the speech comes out, which I also don't like the thing as it comes out of me, which is not as per my decision or resolve. What should I do? There are two ways to correct the thing. Suppose something, we have gone in a wrong lane, then our GPS says, please take the legal U-turn at the next exit or next available opportunity. So here, the thing which is spoiled by the words is immediately I will get conscious and will try to rectify that. Okay, Manish Bhai, really I didn't want to say that, but sorry that it came out differently, and I mean it this way, or let's do it this way. So as soon as I'm aware, in coming moments, I'll try to change in a more better way or a friendly way. The things spoiled by the words can be improved by the better words. And the second thing, I'll do the cleansing process from within myself, that in the presence of pure self, I go to the pure self, which is separate, totally separate from mind, speech, and body, name and name belonging, attachments, and all karmic bonds of Manish Bhai, that I have hurt you. and I beg pardon for that, and I decide not to hurt you again. Please give me the inner strength so that I can do accordingly. So these two things in the present very fast-paced life, even though we don't want, the communication may go wrong, the speech may come out differently. So now and again, with the awareness, with the mindful living, and knowing the holistic inner science, I'll correct it. And over a period of time, my speech will be, or communication will be so harmonious, so non-hurting, so loving, so liked by others, that the things will sail very smoothly. In fact, the test of the time comes when there are two opposing different parties. One is putting their side, another is putting their side, and as a boss or as a supervisor or as a head in the family, you are caught in between. If you say this way, one party is hurt. If you say that word, the other party may be hurt. Here is the test of the time, that you go to your heart, you pray within, or you decide within that, give me the inner strength so I can put all the perspectives in the appropriate way such that no one is hurt. And here, as the things evolve, as my understanding first inside with my decision resolves comes up, my skills of communication, first my vision becomes equanimous, broad, and then my communication also becomes equanimous, so that even the opposing parties are there, they are not hurt, their hearts will accept it, and a smooth, amicable way will come out. So the enlightened ones have this type of speech, that even though there are so many varying viewpoints, their speech is such that no viewpoint is hurt, and at the same time they see as a whole holistic and can put forward the truth such that all are benefited. That's known as the Shadvad speech in the technical or the scriptural language. In our worldly terms, we can say the balanced holistic speech or the pure speech.
So Mayan Bhai, if I may, I want to ask a question of
Okay.
Shailesh Anand.
No, this is how the inner. Yeah, go ahead, Manish bhai.
Yes, so Shailesh Anand, just following up on what you said, you have to have a speech that is not hurtful to others. One of the questions that comes to my mind is, we have always been taught since a very childhood, and this is part of all religions and philosophies, to try and speak truth. Now, sometimes truth is very hurtful. So how do you resolve that using the vision of holistic inner science?
Okay, Manish bhai, you have brought a very, very important aspect of the life, that we have been taught to tell the truth. Now, let me first define the truth, or let us first understand the truth. In the worldly affairs, all our living affairs, interconnected living affairs, what I believe to be true, the other people most of the times don't believe it to be true. Is that not the experience of all of us? And that's the basis where the debate or the discussion starts. What the husband believes to be true, the wife doesn't believe to be true. For the children, dealing with the children, for their education, for their careers. So first and foremost, these are relative truths based on individual viewpoints. Here I should be aware that I'm true by my viewpoint, but at the same time I should be aware that the other people can be true by their viewpoints. Humanity is one which takes care and considerates the viewpoints of the other people. If I am not considerate and if I am not ready to take care of the viewpoints of the other people, why the other people should care for my viewpoints? And that's where the tug of war starts. So first and foremost, these are the relative truths, and most of the times these are based on the viewpoints. The whole world sees and lives on the beliefs and viewpoint planes. This is the most fundamental revelation of the holistic science, that every human being, except one who is in the center, an enlightened one, is living and seeing through the viewpoints and beliefs. So first and foremost, whenever there is something which is a situation of sort of, as you say, the truth is bitter, I should go in and examine myself. Okay, this is my viewpoint, this is my belief, Shailesh. Let's see the other viewpoints, other beliefs, and then try to put forward the things most humbly, that okay, probably I believe it this way. You are free to choose what you believe. or something. There is no harm in discussing the things, but there is certain, no sooner one becomes insistent or adamant, the truth loses the truthfulness and becomes untruth. Wherever there is insistence, adamance resulting into clashes and conflicts, the truth no longer remains a worldly truth, or it loses its essence. So the third point is the truth remains truth when it has four qualities, when there are four qualities involved into it, which I already said in other way, other format, that it should, whenever I'm trying to express the truth, it should be loved by other people. Yeah, if I'm trying to tell something to you, you should love it. I should be able to put it such that you will love it. It should be concise. It should be beneficial to you, not that I want to prove myself right. I'm not caring for your benefit. I'm caring that, oh, I should prove that I'm right. This is what I am. But no, it should be beneficial to the people, to the person to whom I'm trying to convey, and it should be concise or short, lovable, concise, beneficial to others, and truthful. Then it is said to be truthful. And the last point and parameter is there are two types of truth. As I said, one is the truth of this relative world, which are the relative truths based on viewpoints and beliefs, and there are certain truths which are the eternal truths based on the principles and fundamentals of our own life living and the natural regulatory system. There are certain things which are eternal or which are not changing in all the three times, past, present, or future, and they are known as the eternal truths. And if one knows, or if one is fortunate to have that vision opened out, then one can see with both visions, that relative vision or the interconnected or worldly vision, and the real vision or the vision of the eternal ones, the pure self, as well as the natural regulatory system. And if you are fortunate to have these two visions with you, relative viewpoint and real viewpoint, then any situation you can decipher first within your heart and then outside with these two viewpoints, and the truth can be taken care of. Unless and until, no matter how hard I try, some or other way, I'm likely to hurt someone's viewpoint. So we talked about the truth based on our own beliefs and viewpoints. We talked about how we can convey the truth having the four qualities. It's very humorous that if I say, Mother, you are a wife of my father, will mother like it or slap me? Even though it is a truth, the naked truth is never said to be a real truth. So the truth should be conveyed properly with these four qualities. And then if I try to know holistically that all viewpoints are taken care of, and if I know relative and real, changing and non-changing, temporary and permanent, with that two visions, I can take care of the rest of the things.
Yeah, so thank you for clarifying this, Shailesh Anandji. That really sheds light on not holding on to our point of view, but considering other people's point of view, and also the four qualities of truth, that it needs to be, something that's pleasant, it's concise, it's beneficial, and I forgot the fourth quality.
It should be, fourth is it should be truthful.
It should be a truth, right?
Not that to please you, I say you anything wrong, which is not truth.
Right.
Sometimes to please, yes, truthful.
Yep. Yeah, sometimes I think this happens in at work a lot, and even with family situations where to appease, either our family members or our co-workers, we say things that we don't believe in, but it's just to make them feel better. Okay, I think that answers my question. So I'm going to yield to Mayan Bhai, or should we let's bring the next question from the audience.
Good evening. This is Rajnikant Patel from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I'm a retired mechanical engineer and an author of children books. Shailesh Anandji, you had given a very good ideas about speech and communication, and earlier you alluded to the inner code words, which I little more explanation, but in regard to that I have a question. Sometimes when I have to go to a friend to resolve some issues, and I practice 10 times, this is what I'm going to do, these are points I'm going to take. By the time I reach that, my friend, somehow, everything evaporates and something else comes out. So what this has to do with the inner core of words, or a little bit you explain, if you can explain a little bit further, this will clarify this.
All right. So here are two parts of this question, as I understand. One is the code words based on which the speech comes out, and the second part is as all of us experience, we have decided that will represent or communicate like this, and this, but something else comes out. So let me start with the second part first. That when the speech or communication is happening, when it happens in our favor or when it's a fruitful, we say, oh, I talked nicely, I represented things nicely. But when it goes other way around, we say, oh, I didn't mean this, but I don't know why it came out like this. So here is a fundamental question: that am I independent? Is it in my independent control what is being spoken out? The whole world doesn't know this part, that the world knows that I'm the speaker of the speech. But if it is so, why it should happen like that, that we had decided something and it comes out something differently? Or when it is coming out, we really even don't know what is happening sometimes, and it comes out. So here is that the holistic inner science brings a very, very important aspect inside, that the speech being spoken out, which comes out, it's a tape recorder. It's a tape recorded thing, sort of thing, which is pre-printed or pre-recorded. It doesn't mean I'm not trying to say that everything is pre-recorded, but the code words had been laid down. As I said, some people have code word, I must tell upfront. I must tell whatever is truth on the face, whether one likes it or not. Some people have, no, I must be strict, I must be direct. Some people say, no, why to fall into all this jugglery? I will remain quiet and goody goody. So people have different code words. Now, no sooner the things happen, that becomes effective. People say response and reaction. Even before response comes with awareness or mindfulness, the code words start getting effective. And there is another important aspect: instrumentality. With one person your speech comes out differently, with other person it comes out differently, in the third person it comes out differently, the same matter. So that is why I started with the word communication, not only speech. Speech is one which is coming out of me unilaterally, but communication is the instrumentality. No sooner the words of the other person go within me, the reaction machinery works so fast that the same thing, same matter, same thing gets represented or communicated differently to different people, even though the people may be sitting there in the same environment. So based on this, the things become operational like a machinery. And there, I am not the independent doer, I am just the instrumental doer. So the speech which comes out, which is being spoken, is not totally under my control or command when it is coming out. It is sum total of all these things, as I said, the circumstances, instrumentality, and my code words which were laid down previously, which becomes operational because even before I become aware. But in that case, what is in my hand now? What is in my relative free will? Or where is my independence is whatever is coming out now. If it is not correct, or if it's not consistent or not correct as per my present understanding, I'll rectify it. Initially, I had the understanding that I must tell upfront. Now it is hurting the people. So now I resolve that, okay, oh Lord, or oh Supreme Self, give me the inner strength so that I will not hurt anybody, or my intention is not to hurt anyone, and give me the vision so that I can speak balanced speech, or the Shadwat speech, not to hurt anyone. So I'll correct at the level of inner code words. My inner code words now being generated are different from which I have brought in my personality or prakriti. And the personality or the prakriti becomes operational. On the other hand, there may be somebody like Mahen Bhai, who is a Jain guy or a soft guy. And even though he is entrusted the task to tell upfront, he or me cannot express or come out that way because we have brought different code words that no, it cannot be harsh or hurtful or a direct. So based on the old code words, the present speech is coming out based on the scientific circumstantial evidences. It's happening, it happens. And my freedom or free will, relative free will lies inside, where I can change my decision or resolve based on my current understanding, which will lay down the new code words, and the old things which is coming out, the mistakes, I can clean it up as I already mentioned. I hope, Rajni bhai, it gives the answer to both the parts. And to elaborate little more on code words, I already said that based on my present understanding, whether I'm I'm speaking that speech for my business purpose, doing the business so that everybody's interests are taken care of, obliging nature, or I want to make one and all happy, something. So this, if I have the code words of welfare or well-being of all others, then my speech automatically will be a wonderful speech. Everybody will love to listen to it, everybody will be eager to listen to it, and everybody will be benefited also. So the shortest key which I want to give here, or which I want to share with you, one I already shared, that we put the resolve that let my speech be not hurting to anybody, but it should be beneficial and liked by others. And the second code word, please put the code word that give me the inner strength, so that by my vision, by my thoughts, words, and action, I can be making one and all happy, I can be obliging to other people, and I wish to be instrumental in common good or welfare of the mankind as a whole, where I can be instrument for the peace, harmony, happiness of one and all. And if you have this code word within your heart, I think the scenario changes. Now, as Rajani Bhai said that I'm going to my friend's house to resolve something, the people may have some queries and conflicts and clashes amongst themselves, and they do call well-wishers like Rajani Bhai. So at that time, we should have within our heart the code word reinforce that, oh Lord, or oh Supreme Self, or and to whomsoever you are going to talk, see the pure self in them, both the parties or all the parties, and just pray and ask for the inner strength. Give me the inner strength so that my vision, my understanding, and my speech will give the resolving answers to all the hearts. It would soothe all hearts and will make them one and will not separate them more. So if we have this resolve within us that, okay, I'm going there to make everybody's heart soothed and happy and to join them and not to make them apart, some inner vision and the speech or communication will come in such a way that it will serve the purpose. So this is how the inner decision, resolve, intent, coupled with knowledge or understanding of the holistic science and awareness, of course, will change the situation. I hope, Rajini bhai, it answers all the components of your question.
Yeah, it did. It did, Sailashan, very good. It cleared a lot. But then one question still lingers is, you said speech is tape recorded. So
Yes.
I had rehearsed what I was going to say. And so that was my tape recorder. But when I went to my friend's house, what happened to the tape recorder?
No, what you rehearsed is not tape recorded, is not tape record. It's what you were trying to feed in, but what came out, it's a sort of recorded entity. And again, I say that the entire speech is not recorded. It's a code word which gets into shorthand, and based on the code word and shorthand, the outer speech comes out based on instrumentality and the scientific circumstantial evidences. As I said, if you put two situations, I must tell the truth upfront, or no, let me express it such that all the hearts are soothed or resolved and nobody is hurt. Then the way will differ. But as I said, sometimes what happens that based on the past code words, even before I become aware, even before I can focus on to the things may come out. So it's a process, it's a journey that I keep on living with awareness on my inner self, what is coming out. One who is aware that no sooner the speech starts springing from within, one becomes aware that, okay, wait. it cannot be, the raw goods cannot be sent outside. No, no, it is not a good quality. It should be wrapped properly, and it should be well finished goods and wrapped and packed properly. So inside, if something starts coming up, no, I must tell that no, he's not, she did this way. I become aware and just try to see my own inner speech and take a while, so the inside the things get corrected or resolved before it comes out. If you can take step back and see and take a pause to see your inner speech as soon as it starts bringing out from within, I think that little pause, that little time to see your inside atoms and molecules which have started coming up, and inside you can change and before it comes out appropriately. So long as I am not convinced by my own speech, so long as I am also getting disturbed within myself by my own things which is coming out, how the other person can get convinced, or how the other person may not be disturbed. So this is a very subtle secret I am sharing with you. If my speech is equanimous, if my speech is harmonious, if my speech is good, my heart also will become, my heart will accept it, my heart will be happy. I'll be at ease within. If it is not, I'll be uneasy from within. But this is a question of, one, I should be looking within myself. I should have learned to look within myself with that awareness and understanding. I should be impartial to look within myself. That, and believe me, before it hurts others, it does hurt me. Before I say you are not a good person, it hurts me. Before I say you are a good person, it benefits me. So the word, even before it comes out, there is inner echo on our own self, good or bad, positive or negative. If I become aware of that inner echo, the things start changing from within.
Thank you very much. You clarified my query. I think this becomes very, very clear. And like you say, we need to start putting the right code words every day, which hopefully will fructify into happiness for us and others. Thank you very much.
So we have time, Shailesh Anandji, for one more question from the audience.
Sure.
Good evening and happy Easter to everybody. Thanks for having me, Shailesh Anandji. I'm Punita from Tustin, California. I'm a graphic artist. To touch upon what you mentioned a little earlier, how do you go about syncing the inner coding with the outer speech? You were saying something about 7/8 of it is the inner coding, and you only witnessed like 1/8 of your speech. So how do you go about surveying what's really going on inside? I'm a person of very few words. I probably internalize a lot of it, but I don't know how deep everything is inside. So I wonder if there's a process where you can take survey every day of what's really surfacing and how deep the speech is. Because some people are very clever with words. My husband's very witty. He'll snap jokes and things, and it'll take me an hour or 30 minutes. Oh, I should have said this to him. You know, some people just have it. I don't, but I'm very curious how to take a survey of what's inside.
Oh, very good question. So this brings us to the I think another aspect, that every manager or a business person takes a review. We take the stock of the situation at the end of the day, at the end of the week. So here I would say that what I personally do is I spare 10 minutes to see my whole day, how it went. So if I look at my speech or communication which went throughout the day with different people under different situations, looking at that, it gives me that, okay, this was my intent or code word in this situation, this was my intent or code word in this situation with husband, with children, with colleagues, at co-workers, with the boss, or with other people. And looking at that, this knowledge helps us. I assure you, don't get worried that your husband has a smart, quick, and you may not be able to express so fast. But that's fine. What matters is what's your intent. Even though you speak 2 words only, but if your intent and if it has come out good, it will make your husband very, very happy. Even though somebody speaks blah 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 blah, a lot of the things, but if the intent or codes are not correct, in fact it spoils the thing. So one of the side secret is use the words. Words is energy. Take it. You are spending your energy in speaking or in expressing. So if it is served by 2 words, don't speak 12 words. So conserve your energy. Means be aware of spending the energy or for the purpose it is required. But that's a side way. Coming back to your main thing is in main areas, as I said, in our family, at our workplace, at our where. See, the basic code word of mine is let my intent is not to hurt through my thoughts, words, or action to anybody, but my intent is to make one and all happy, oblige everyone as to the extent possible through thoughts, words, or action. Whosoever comes to me from morning to evening, maybe at family, maybe at workplace, maybe anywhere, I wish to share some happiness, give some happiness, oblige him or her some way. And that intent itself will do a lot of things. Here we are talking about speech, but let me also say you that sometimes even without spoken, the people say there is another language, speechless language, and even our what is going on within us also affects the other person. Some people study body language, but body language is also outside, the inside, our state of being, our inner being, our thoughts, our vibrations, our resolves do affect the other people. But that's apart. So in broader way, so this is my first resolve or code word, that let my mind, speech, and body make one and all happy or oblige one and all. Then I can broaden it further that, okay, in all my communications or interactive livings, I wish that I do not have the clash or conflict with anybody, but rather I be able to resolve my things amicably with equanimity or adjust everywhere. And as I said, if I have the vision, I see the pure self in all the other people, and the world is me only. When I start experiencing there is no other in the world, it is me only, the code words automatically get changed. And the further code word which we already discussed, that now I wish that whatever mind, speech, body, whatever I have, if it can be useful or instrumental in welfare of one and all, the world as a whole, then the code words will automatically change. The vision within will change, the heart will change, the code words will change, the expressions will change. And it's not important whether somebody is very clever at speaking or somebody is not clever. It is what is coming out from the heart or from coupled with the intent and code words which is working for the other people. The people are also very smart enough. They also can discriminate. Their heart also can discriminate what is being spoken from the head with what intent and what's being spoken from the heart or with what intent. So broadly, it can be very short and simplified that 2 main aims: one, my mind, speech, and body, be obliging, making one and all happy. Let my mind, speech, and body become instrumental for welfare of the world or every living being as a whole, and that way. Right?
Very nicely said. Thank you. Yeah, it's funny, even 2 words, like I would say something to my son, I think it has a motherly tone. So
yes.
He takes it wrongly, and Deepak will say something with even profanity, and it's just laughed off, and they're buddies. So it's funny, even if you're cursing or using the most rude language, he'll take it, and I'll say it with another intent. But like you mentioned, I guess it's the ego that's clashing there, the subtle ego, regardless of which perspective it is. So it makes perfect sense. Thank you.
So that's why I had addressed the ego part, because speech itself is an expression of ego. So I is going to be there, but if that I is humble, if that I knows how to become humble or smallest of the small, if that I becomes how to become friendly, loving, caring, sharing, then I think the thing goes up. The I is going to remain. Without I, all interconnected dealings will not take place. But if that I becomes humble, if that I becomes friendly, loving, caring, sharing. So that is why the holistic scientist says, don't use word you and me, yours and mine, but use word as we and ours, with whomsoever we are dealing, with whomsoever we are dealing. Lovely. Small, subtle things, but it is a profound science behind that.
Yeah, I've definitely followed that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I think this brings us to the end of our talk, Sailesh Anandji. Thank you for enlightening us with the holistic science view on speech, how speech is formed, what is inner and outer speech, how we should convey our thoughts using the right intent, how an eighth of the speech is coming out, but the 7/8 or a majority of speech is kind of inside, and how we can use our speech to influence others and communicate to others, both at work and with our family. I think we have just scratched the surface, perhaps an eighth of what we can talk about on speech today. So maybe we can continue our conversation and talk about the 7/8 of the speech in our upcoming sessions. So thank you everybody for joining and asking some really good questions. We have our next Google Talk scheduled for Sunday, April 24th. So we will see you then. Good night.
And can come with the more questions and more thinking on the aspect of communication and speech.
Absolutely.